This comment comes up semi-regularly, and I'm not singling out this specific person, so please don't go and give him a hard time in the comments. I did answer him in the comments, but I just wanted to address it in more detail because I think it's a really important issue. I'm also not going to speak to camera on this because I'm going to talk about things that are a little bit vulnerable, and I don't feel comfortable looking at you while I'm doing that. So let's just watch me make some shit while I tell you a story. To tell this story, I have to go way back to my childhood, which was a fucking long time ago. I was not raised by my birth family. I was placed in adoption at a young age. I was adopted by people who despised me as a human being. There was no love or affection or encouragement or positive reinforcement in any way in my childhood. There was a lot of abuse, physical, emotional, psychological abuse that went on for many years until when I was probably 15, when I decided to take my chances on the streets instead. When a child grows up in an environment like that, they still have the innate need to be loved by their parent or caregiver. And I was exactly that way. And I would go through periods of time where I would try to be whatever I thought my caregivers wanted me to be. Obviously, I failed because that wasn't who I was. But it was an ongoing cycle, which then carried on into my adult life. Which led to a series of very dysfunctional and abusive relationships. Growing up in an environment like that basically makes you an amazing shapeshifter. You learn to adapt to your environment. You learn to be whatever you feel like is expected of you in the moment. What it doesn't allow for is any level of self-realization or knowing yourself. And it wasn't until I cut my adoptive parents out of my life at 38 that I actually started to develop a sense of my own identity. Now, the swearing thing is something that I have always done. I was not raised by people who swore. My parents, I never heard them swear, actually. But I was always the kid that got in trouble. If someone swore, everyone assumed it was me because I had that mouth even as a child. I don't know where it comes from. I think it's because I'm a very passionate person, and I think very passionate people tend to be quite colourful with their language, but essentially it is who I am. And there's a lot of things in this life that you could take away from me now, but my right to be myself is not one of those. I will fight to the death for my right to be myself, and I don't care if it comes across as me being unprofessional or uncouth or uneducated. The fact is that that is who I am. I'm more than happy for people to think that I'm uneducated, uncouth, and unprofessional than for them to think that I wasn't being authentic. No matter what you do or who you are, there are always going to be people who don't like you, and that's perfectly fine. I'm fine if people don't like me, but I am going to like myself, and that means being authentic. I think it would be a terrible shame to lose something that took me so long to gain. Thanks for watching, guys.